Good morning, viewers from Studio BUDI UTOMO headquarters here in Indonesia. The latest news will accompany you in the next several minutes. Glad to be with you. I'm Alinda Yulianti. School closures due to COVID-19 pandemic are taking an almost irreparable toll on the education of children around the world. The impact of the closures has left some children unable to read, with UNICEF revealing that more than 616 million students are still affected by full or partial school closures. About 70% of 10 years old cannot read simple text. Indonesia records transmission of more than 1,000 cases each day. This transmission is thought to be due to a new variant of Omicron. It is suspected that this increase in cases occurred partly due to the international travel, especially in areas that become gates of arrival such as Jakarta, Batam, and also Kalimantan, which caused several schools to be closed again after several months online. Several schools in Jakarta were closed because teachers and students were exposed to COVID. On Monday, March 8, 2022, the number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 was 5,800,253, an increase of around 30,148 cases from the various cases. West Java became a province with a total of 7,174 cases. As many as 706 schools in Jakarta were closed due to the outbreak of this new case. In some Brazilian states, about 3 out of every 4 children in grade 2 are unable to read. This figure is up from 1 in 2 children before the pandemic. Across the country, 1 in 10 students aged 10 to 15 report that they did not plan to return to school once face-to-face learning had begun. According to data held by the DKI Jakarta government, as many as 70 schools were closed after COVID-19 cases were found in students, teachers, and educational staff. The schools that were closed consist of kindergarten to high school levels, spread across 5 areas of the cities of Jakarta, namely West Jakarta 9 schools, Central Jakarta 5 schools, South Jakarta 31 schools, East Jakarta 42 schools, and North Jakarta 3 schools. Member of Commission 9th House of Representative Republic Indonesia, Rahmat Handoyo, asked the government in the province of DKI Jakarta, West Java, and Banten to immediately follow President Joko Widodo's direction for an evaluation of face-to-face learning. He asked that local governments, especially the 3 regions, should temporarily close schools. He said that the active case on COVID-19 in Indonesia rose 910% from the various 6,108 cases on January 9, 2022 to 61,718 cases on January 30, 2022. In addition, the addition of the new case rose by 2,248% from the 529 cases on January 9, 2022 to 12,422 cases on January 30, 2022. The Ministry of Education and Culture, together with 4 ministers, issued Circular Letter number 2/2022 regarding guidelines for the implementation of learning during the COVID-19 pandemic. The circular states that limited face-to-face learning can be carried out with a number of students 50% of the capacity of classroom in educational units located in areas with the implementation level to community activity restrictions. While the implementation of face-to-face learning is limited to educational units located in the PPKM level 1, 3, and 4 areas, they still follow the provisions in the joint decree of the 4 ministries concerning guidelines for the implementation learning of the COVID-19 pandemic period. Likewise, the temporary suspension of limited PTM and education units still follow the provisions of the 4 ministry decree. In addition, thousands of students of schools in the United States have postponed students returning to schools after the holidays or switching to distance learning due to Omicron variants that push COVID-19 case to record levels. In New Jersey, which has experienced some of the highest case rates in recent weeks, most urban schools have implemented virtual classes to kick off the new year, including Newark, the state's largest city. In New Jersey, cities including Milwaukee, Cleveland, and Detroit implement online instruction, or cancel school's activities that week for tens of thousands of students, citing staff shortages and concern over a migrant deployment. On the other hand, school closures due to COVID-19 outbreak caused a decrease in the quality of students' learning. This condition can have an impact on the potential loss of lifetime income of all current generation students up to 70 trillion US dollar, or equivalent to 2,427 quadrillion. More than 2,000 million students living in low and lower middle income countries are unprepared to implement distance learning during emergency school closures. UNICEF says school closures have deprived millions of students of the opportunity to acquire basic skills. This story also affects students' mental health, puts them at a greater risk of abuse, and prevents many students from having access to regular courses of nutrition. For example, children can only learn 30% to 40% of the math curriculum when schools is closed compared to if students study with the normal schools years in elementary schools. Well, viewers, that's all the news for today. Have a great day and signing out.